What's going on, Rum Pure Bets Nation? Allow myself to introduce myself. My name, obviously, some of you know me, some of you don't. My name is Jason Paglia. I'm a full-time sports bettor. I'm a full-time sports betting content creator. A couple years ago, I created the Sports Keg. It started as a sports betting content platform on YouTube. It grew from there. Before it was a thing that the kids do, I started the most profitable live betting show that you're going to find in the space, myself and the crew from the Sports Keg. We've made almost 250 units in profit over the last year. Check it out, man. It's really funny. We laugh a lot. We tear each other to shreds. We live bet all night long, and we win more than we lose. About a year and a half ago, one of my guys at the Sports Keg told me about this channel. Previously, when it was the Sports with Facts YouTube channel, I saw a couple of videos. I love JJ. I loved what he does. I invited him on the live betting show that we have. We grew a friendship. And a couple months ago, he came to me. He told me that he wanted to merge with me to form the sports betting side of Run Pure Sports. And I was down, man. Really excited to work with him. He's a really talented guy. And everybody at the Sports Keg is looking forward to it. So what you're going to get from me and my guys is the live betting show. We're going to do a ton of content, free pick videos, podcasts, articles once we get over to the website. And we're going to kick it off with this free pick video. UFC 251 main event breakdown. Originally, this main event was supposed to be Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. Personally, I think it's a blessing in disguise for Gilbert Burns. I thought he was about 18 months away from really being ready to fight Kamaru Usman. I don't think he's there yet. So he'll eventually get his title shot. Now's not the time. He comes down with the package, COVID-19. And now Kamaru Usman will fight Street Jesus, a.k.a. Game Bread, a.k.a. the baddest motherfucker in the game, Jorge Masvidal. So, my thoughts on this fight is this. In the sport of mixed martial arts, styles make fights. It is the golden rule that you hear most MMA analysts and sports betting handicappers say. And they say this because it's true. Fundamentally, you start with the styles first, and you build up on individual nuances from there, really. So stylistically, this is the best wrestler in the division going up against probably the best pocket striker at 170 pounds in Jorge Masvidal. So let's take a look at the odds that we have on the champ, Usman. What do we got? So Usman right now, a minus 260 money line favorite. He's plus 140 to win by decision, plus 200 to win by KO. He's about 12 to 1 to win by submission. If he gets it done inside the distance, and you think he does, he's plus 175. If you think he doesn't win inside the distance, minus 250. And then general odds, fight to go the distance, yes, plus 110. No, minus 148. Total rounds on this fight is 4.5. The under is the favorite right now, taking a little bit more money at minus 134. Over 4.5 rounds is even money. So taking a look at Usman and what we really think. In his last title defense against Colby Covington, Usman did something that we normally don't see from him. He respected the wrestling game of Colby Covington. And how could you not? The kid's an All-American wrestler. He's an absolute beast on the mat. Probably the second best wrestler in the division, depending on where you rate Ben Askren. I think Covington's probably the second best wrestler in the division. So Usman keeps it on the feet and basically turns that fight into a kickboxing match for 5 rounds. It turns out he breaks Covington's jaw in the second round. We found that out after the fact. And he finally gets the late 5th round stoppage against Covington. However, he will respect the stand-up game of Jorge Masvidal, because if you don't, you go to sleep. Right? Masvidal, the 2019 Fighter of the Year, his last 3 fights, he wins by stoppage in really, really impressive fashion. And the entire division knows how good Jorge Masvidal is in the pocket. He's excellent. So taking a look at what we see on Jorge Masvidal, right now he's a plus 210 dog. 10-1 to win the fight by decision, plus 275 to win by TKO, probably his most likely scenario to win. 20-1 to win by submission. If you think he gets it done inside the distance, he's plus 265. If you think he doesn't get it done inside the distance, he's a $4 favorite. And then obviously the same odds on will the fight go the distance? Yes, plus 110. No, minus 148, and then 4.5 rounds. Exactly what we saw, right? So it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight. The narrative has been, well, surely Jorge Masvidal can't come in on 1 week's notice and take out Kamaru Usman. I mean, that's stupid talk. That can't happen. That's not entirely accurate. Right? Masvidal had been in contract negotiations to fight at UFC 251 as recent as 6 weeks ago. Okay? It eventually fell through. Him and Dana White couldn't come together on a price that Jorge Masvidal wanted to be paid. But he was in the gym training for Kamaru Usman as recent as 6 weeks ago. So he will be somewhat prepared to fight Kamaru Usman. Now, he might not be completely prepared on what a normal training camp would be if the fight was signed and sealed 3 months ago, but he will be prepared to fight him. So that narrative really doesn't hold that much water for me personally. But what does hold water is how easy it is to take Jorge Masvidal down when he's fighting elite wrestlers. It happens. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that Kamaru Usman knows that his path to victory is to not stand in front of Jorge Masvidal for 5 rounds, because chances are you're going to get sparked and dropped because Masvidal is that good in the pocket, right? So I expect Usman to wrestle fuck him for 5 rounds. He's going to level change, go for a double leg takedown. His double leg takedowns are excellent. Or he's going to get him up against the cage and he's going to trip and rip him down, right? Might get a high crotch against the cage, take him down that way. But I don't see a scenario where if Kamaru Usman gets his hands on Jorge Masvidal, that he won't be able to take him to the ground. I don't buy it, okay? Now, there's a lot of talk about the fact that Masvidal has a 78% takedown defense over his career. That's true, but what is also true is he's never defended those takedowns against a world-class wrestler who is the UFC welterweight champion for 5 rounds. That's also never happened. So I don't see Usman having a problem there. Going back to that Ben Askren fight, who knows what would have happened if he didn't knock Ben Askren out with that flying knee in 5 seconds. Okay? Ben Askren was a world-class wrestler. I thought if Askren got his hands on him, he would take him to the ground. I thought that there was nothing that Masvidal would be able to do to stop Ben Askren from taking him down. Now, Ben Askren never got the chance because he was like a stiff 2x4 on the mat 5 seconds into the fight when he got knocked out by that knee. But, you know, in the end, Jorge Masvidal's path to victory, as I see it, is catching Kamaru Usman when he's coming in for a takedown. Okay, I think that that's his path to victory. Now, technically, could Jorge Masvidal outpoint Kamaru Usman on the feet for 5 rounds? Yes, he probably could. But I think Kamaru Usman probably knows that. And I just don't see him banging in the pocket with Masvidal for 5 straight rounds, because that's not your easiest path to victory. And now Jorge Masvidal drops his coach for this fight. It turns out that his coach, I think it's Mike Brown, has the virus. So he will not have him between rounds in his corner. That can be a problem. I think that these odds at the end of the day are a fair representation of the advantage that Kamaru Usman has in the style matchup. So these odds seem right to me. The question becomes, do you want to lay the minus 250 or 260 on Usman, or do you want to back him but look for a better price? I don't really have an opinion right now on whether this fight ends inside the distance or not. To be honest, I lean that it probably does not go the distance, because Usman could end this on the ground by ground and pound. And I think both Usman and Masvidal have the power. If they hit each other on the button, they probably both drop. So if you're asking me for a lean there, I lean that the fight does not go the distance. I haven't really decided whether or not I will bet Kamaru Usman on the money line yet. I hope Masvidal takes money throughout the week, and late Saturday afternoon, we might get a better price on Kamaru Usman. If you see some late money on Masvidal, he's won his last couple fights as an underdog. So, and he is a huge fan favorite, and I love him, if I'm being honest. I'm picking against him, but I love him in this fight. So the way that I would approach the fight, if you're not going to take Usman on the money line, is a couple 2-fighter parlays with Usman as your anchor. One of those parlays will be a free pick in the video. What we're going to do is we're going to roll with Rose Namajunas and Kamaru Usman together. I love Rose Namajunas. I backed her in her last fight with Jessica Andrade. If not for her getting picked up and dropped on her head, she would have easily been up 2 rounds to none. She was completely outclassing Jessica Andrade on the feet, because Rose Namajunas has the best footwork in women's MMA, and it's not even close. And because she has that great footwork, it allows her to cut angles, and combining that with her striking accuracy and her hand speed, she is a fucking problem for somebody on the feet. Jessica Andrade, terrible footwork. She's slow and plodding and moves forward. I think Rose is going to know, I cannot let this woman get hands on me, because the last time she almost broke my neck and dropped me on my head. So I think we will see Rose keep away from her for 3 rounds and get a decisive decision victory. So I feel good about taking Usman as your anchor and throwing Rose Namajunas in there. That gets you down to plus 110 at Bet365, and I feel good about it. I really do. So that's going to be the first free pick that we roll with at UFC 251. I will be back tomorrow with the co-main event breakdown between Max Holloway and the champ Alexander Volkanovski. You're going to see too much of me on this channel. You're going to get sick of me in a couple months. We got the live betting show. We'll be on all the time. Plus the guys from the Keg will be doing their own free pick videos The one thing you need to know about the sports keg is we only rock with the sports that we crush in. Every guy on the team specializes in one or two sports. For me, it's football and MMA. And I guess you can throw NASCAR in there. And then obviously live betting. But only a couple sports for me. And then some of my guys are strong in the NBA. Some are strong in MLB. So you're going to see us all the time on this channel. Tomorrow, I'm back with the co-main breakdown. Friday night, me and Joey Work will have UFC fighter Brandon Royval on the show. We'll get him on, talk about his main card predictions for UFC 251. And Saturday, our first live betting show, UFC 251 Fightcast. It'll be the crew from the keg. JJ will join us from the main card. We kick it off an hour before the event starts. We go all the way through the main event. We live bet all night long. And then Sunday, we'll be back for the NASCAR race at Kentucky. A couple pre-race bets plus live betting throughout the race. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited to be a part of Rum Pure Sports. My crew is. The venture is exciting. This is the place to be for sports betting content. I'll see you back here tomorrow.